Hello, everyone. Welcome to Deaf Mute Studio. This is the Murmur by Deaf podcast. I'm joined by writer extraordinaire Ged Backland. Ged, when will you admit that your hair is a wig?
Right now. I'll take it off in front of your very eyes. Hair off.
Hair off, making on. We're going. Oh. Couldn't get my words out yet again. So, Ged, thanks for coming back on. The year is 1997. Face Off is released. It's now 2022, and we need to talk about Face Off.
Certainly do.
We just do, because it has an anniversary this year. It may have gone by now, or it may be coming up. I don't care. I don't know. I don't do research into this shit. I just watch the films. So, Ged, Face Off. Do you remember watching it for the first time?
Yeah, and I didn't see it for a long time. I would, even as a kid, I wasn't really into the action film in that way. I did like Arnie. We did watch a lot of Arnie, me and my cousins, but Face Off was not something I watched for a little while. I think I did. I saw it before we met each other in college. And I don't think I remember it enjoying it that much. Again, it was that type of action thing that wasn't really my bag. But as you know, as the years come on and you do watch it and you watch it again, I mean, it's an utterly fucking ridiculous film from start to finish. And rewatched it last night in preparation for this. I don't know if I remember thinking that when I watched it at the time, but I mean, it is fucking ridiculous, and that's the best way of describing it. That's what it should be called.
Ridiculous Off.
Yeah, fucking ridiculous off. It is. It's a batshit film from start to finish, and we said this about so many other things that we talk about, but you're just not getting that film nowadays. You are not making anything like that. You might get aping that type of film, making a film out. Oh yeah, it's like the silly action films of the 90s. That film was made in earnest, and it was made with it wasn't supposed to be as funny and all the rest of it. It was made in earnest, and that's what makes it even more batshit. It really does.
Yeah, it's definitely a film of its time, and I mean, I love it. I just, it's so straight-faced. There's no, I mean, if you made it, like you said, if you made it today, it'd be a comedy. It'd be wacky. It'd be like Fast and the Furious is now, where it. But no, this was a serious piece of cinema back in '97.
It certainly was.
I mean, what? Like I watched it a couple of nights ago, and the thing that I don't remember about it is it's an action film, but it takes a very sharp right turn into sci-fi, and doesn't look back. I nearly got whiplash. Yeah. It does, doesn't it? And it was something that I made a note about with the sci-fi element. Like I was before watching it again, I thought, okay, so I remember, of course, they take their faces off, and I vaguely remembered that scene in particular. I was like, but how? Yeah, so the faces swap, yeah, but how do the bodies change and all the rest of it? And I love that sequence because it's just explained away with science, with just machines just bleeping and changing. And I mean, one thing about the scene in particular I thought was well suspect. Because you're thinking, right, okay, so they're going to be surgically removing each other's faces, not them themselves, but doctors would be. And the first thing I noticed was like, this doctor is wearing a maroon jacket. What doctor wears a maroon instead of the white, sterile sort of doctor? He's wearing a maroon jacket, and straight away that would ring alarm bells for me. It's like, no, he's not doing it, is he? The fellow in the maroon jacket. And yeah, it's just like it is all explained away with, oh yeah, our science can do this, or we've got a computer that can do this, and that's the explanation you get, is we've got a computer that can do this. And I miss we've got a computer that can do this sort of explanations in films. There should be a lot more.
Yeah,
It really should.
So don't worry about it. We're scientists, we're surgeons. We've got this.
Yeah, we'll sort it out with this machine that we've got here. That will change your body shape.
When I was watching it, I was thinking, like, yeah, I get the face bit, yeah, but how would Nick Cage's face skin fit onto John Travolta's skull?
Yeah.
It'd be warped.
Yeah, it'd be really tight. And I was imagining the bodies, like, so John Travolta's saggy face on Nick Cage's head, and just hanging off. It would have been a different. I mean, if we saw a realistic version of that film, that's what we'd get. It'd be a much more scary prospect.
And I was like, so what did he do with the penis?
Yeah.
Do they have the same size penis? Does one have? I know, is one circumcised, one not?
Yeah.
I was like, and if you're in prison, you got to get your penis out sooner or later.
That's true. That's true.
Be it for fun or just showers.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it was that. I think that's the thing with Face Off. I mean, it's very well loved, and rightly so.
Yeah.
But back in the day, I always remember people going, "Oh no, it's ridiculous," and it was always because of that sharp sci-fi turn. People just went, "Hang on, pop the brake." I've just seen a jet crash into a hangar. And now you're telling me you can take people's faces off?
Yeah. What's that about?
I thought I was watching an action film here. What's going on?
Yeah.
But like you say, it's like, oh, it's science.
Science.
And you're either like, hang on a minute, no, bone structure, skeletons, wouldn't you rather just like swap your brain or something? Or you can just go, yeah, science. Let's have it.
Machines, yeah. Penis science. We changed the penises through science. Yeah. Changed the faces through science. Machines, maroon jackets. Yeah, it's all done. And either you're on board or you're not. And yeah, maybe probably back then everyone was, oh no, that's, it's too much of a high concept. But I mean, it just adds to the batshit crazy nature of the entire thing from there on in, really, doesn't it?
I mean, yeah, I heard that it was originally meant to be set in the future.
Oh, was it?
Which would make sense for the concept. But John Woo went, nah, let's try and keep this more real.
Yeah, and he succeeded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, you want to make face swapping real, John? Okay. I'm down with that.
Yeah.
I mean, if we can talk about John Woo for a minute, it's known that John Woo's foray into Western cinema didn't go as well as his Hong Kong efforts, which, but I maintain he done good.
Yeah,
I like a lot of his Western. I like Face Off. I like Hard Target. Dare I say, I quite like Windtalkers.
I have not seen Windtalkers.
I don't think you'd like Windtalkers, Jed, but I do.
Yeah.
And yeah, I thought he'd done all right. I mean, if you were to say to me, you only get one Western John Woo film, and that'd be Face Off, I'd bite your hands off. I'd say, yeah, give me Face Off, because it's for me, it's legendary. It's a film I owned on VHS as a kid, and I always remember coming back from school, and I'd always either put on Face Off or Con Air.
Yeah.
And Face Off always won, because it's it's a bit of an action masterpiece.
Mm.
It's got all your John Woo-isms, the doves, the pigeons. It's got ridiculous dialogue, ridiculous characters.
It really has. I mean, it was tailor-made for Nick Cage. Like there is no Face-Off without him. It wouldn't have been the same film. And John Travolta. I mean, watching John Travolta, when of course he's had his bounce back. He's been Pulp Fiction. He's dead cool again. And, and of course he slowly, steadily starts chipping away at that reputation again. He's already been in Battlefield Earth by this point, I think, hasn't he? 97.
I forgot about that.
Was Battlefield Earth later than 90? It was 2000, 2001 Battlefield Earth.
Let me fact check that. Battlefield Earth 2000.
2000, yeah. So he's back with Pulp Fiction, and then he slowly starts chipping away at his newfound reputation again. He does Face Off, and he fizzles out. But when he's playing Sean Archer to begin with, I'm like, okay, it's John Travolta doing his moody stuff. When he turns into Castor Troy, he made me feel sick. He makes me feel sick in that film. His acting makes me nauseous. John Travolta playing Nick Cage, it just makes me feel really unwell.
I mean, that aspect alone, actors playing each other, absolutely kettled my head.
Yeah.
God, it's like, what came first, the chicken or the egg? Who signed off on the character traits and who?
Yeah.
I mean, did they both start off like playing the characters and then switch? Well, apparently they both worked really hard, like in pre-production, and just figured out like little ticks and traits of each character. Because essentially, it's Castor Troy isn't Nicolas Cage's character because he barely plays him. He's John Travolta's character and vice versa.
Yeah.
So,
sorry, go on.
I was just going to say. So I think Nick Cage does a good John Travolta impression, and obviously vice versa. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I thought Nick Cage handled being Sean Archer a lot better than John Travolta. I mean, I think with Nick Cage playing Castor Troy, if he was Castor Troy throughout the whole film, obviously it wouldn't be. I can handle Nick Cage acting like that, is what I'll say. I can handle he's done that type of thing and other things. But John Travolta, when he gets it made me feel really uneasy. The way he was delivering his lines and stuff. I never want to see that again.
I loved it. I mean, when you first see Nick Cage as Castor Troy, he's got some great lines.
Yes.
Just delivers them like typically Nick Cage.
Mm.
Like when he says, I think I watched it with my family the first time I watched it. I think. Mm. And I nearly had a heart attack when he's with the flight attendant, which is an FBI agent, and he's asking a question. It's like, how grateful would you be if I let you suck? And I just like, oh no, don't say it. Don't say it. I can't do this, no.
Yeah.
And then he goes, my tongue. I was just like, oh my God. Oh, that's saved a lot of embarrassment. But the way he delivers that line, and the arrogance he has, and I was like, but I kind of feel that John Travolta just kind of upscales that when he turns into Castor Troy.
Yeah.
And he channels all of the gods of overacting.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
And I get what you mean by the way it freaks you out, but I'm like, I would watch this John Travolta all day long.
Yeah.
I love Travolta when he just throws shit at the wall and sees what sticks. And same goes for Nick Cage.
Mm.
I mean, I can imagine them like having the meeting, like going, "Oh, so we're playing the same characters, but we're switching it round." And I can see them just going, "Look, it's a big dumb Hollywood film, but just fucking go nuts."
Yeah,
Just go for it. And I'm pretty sure they did. And I've got a little bit of trivia for you, Jed. Well, first of all, would you say you were happy with the casting of Nick Cage and John Travolta?
Yeah. As I say, Nick Cage. I can't imagine it being anybody else. I mean, to a degree, yeah. I mean, even John, it's not going to be Face Off without John Travolta either. I can't imagine anybody else in that role. It just, yeah, he just makes me feel really uncomfortable. But no, yeah, I'm happy with that.
Well, how would you feel if I told you that the original? I mean, everyone was linked with Sean Archer and Castor Troy, but originally it was going to be Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sylvester Stallone.
Wow. I'd pay to watch that now.
I mean, I'd love them to try and explain away the science on that one. How
we can't understand a word either of them are saying.
The voice box is fucked.
Yeah. No, I would. Yeah. Well, I'd like to see that.
It's intriguing, isn't it?
Yeah. I'd like to see that. It's a shame. You know, we got the Face Off stuff that we got, but yeah, that would have been intriguing to see, very much so.
If anything, I think that if we're in an alternate universe, that version would be akin to like The Last Action Hero or something. Yeah. It'd have to be so meta.
Yeah, it would. It really would. It would. Another thing I realised last night was just how much Nick Cage meant to you. There were so many bits in the film where I burst out laughing because not through enjoying them in the film, but I realised that you've been doing these things and saying these things for the 20 odd years that I've known you, referencing this, and I just thought you were being weird. The whole voice box, tickly, scratchy. I could eat a picture. You've said that to me. Said that to me so many times. The opening scene where he's laid the bomb. I think you came into college one day walking like he does, and then like doing all that. So many things that he does in that film. I've realised that's where it's coming from. So yeah, I know you're a massive Nick Cage fan, and obviously you've been paying attention.
Yes, he has had a massive influence on my life. Yeah. Oh, I forgot what I was going to say. I wasn't expecting that. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, going back to Peach, I could eat a peach for hours. When I first watched that, I didn't fully understand the reference, Jed.
Yeah.
I mean,
we wouldn't have.
I thought he was actually talking about a peach.
Yeah.
I love, and I think because of Face Off is why I love peaches.
Yeah.
and to realize that he's talking about something, he's doing a euphemism there. Like, oh my God, I'm pretty sure I used to say that at like family gatherings. And like you, they were probably like giving me the side eye going, fucking hell, what's up with our Daniel? Jesus Christ. What?
He's at that age, isn't he?
Child of divorce.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh, I'm getting flashbacks of college now.
Yeah, no, there was plenty. There was loads of stuff in there. It's not actually Nick Cage doing it. It's John Travolta, but where he says, "See anything you like." He's got see anything you like. He said that to me so many times. I burst out laughing when he said that. See who you like. Yeah, no, you said that. So yeah, there's a lot of fun that comes from Face Off.
And speaking of misunderstandings, Castor Troy's brother Pollux. We'll go on to the cast in a minute because the cast is fucking stacked. Pollux has this almost like a trademark. He waves with his little finger, and it was only until watching it the other night I was like, is that a wave or is it an insult? Because he always does it to Archer.
Yeah,
and believe me, Jed, I know I've had this directed at me many times. It's not a wave.
Oh no. You put two and two together.
I was like, and if that is the case, I think that's a bit of genius from Alessandro Nivola.
Yeah, a nice little extra, something to think about.
Yes, like you've got a little Willie John.
Yeah,
and I was like, all right. It was just something that popped in my head watching. I was like, if that's what I think it is, that's really good.
That is good, yeah.
So let's get on to the cast, Jed, because like I said, it's stacked. Well, in my opinion, it's absolutely stacked. So first of all, we'll get on to, because like yourself, you're a big fan of The Wire. And we have 2 Wire alumni in it, or alumni in it. Now, can you name 2 of them?
I can't. To my shame, I can't name the actors, but I recognise Bunny Golden straight away.
Oh yes, Tito.
Yeah, he looks younger. He looks a lot. I mean, of course, he will have. Saying that, I mean, The Wire started 2002, so it wasn't too
long
much.
Either, no?
Yeah, too long after. But he looks younger and healthier. And it took me a while, but I was like, I know that guy. I'm sure he hasn't got hair. And when I imagined him without the hair, it was Frank Sabaka, wasn't it? The fellow who played Frank Sabaka.
Yeah. Dubov.
Yeah, that's him. Yeah, I was amazed I spotted them as well. Yeah, so yeah, 2 in one film.
Dubov, I didn't sleep with your wife or your sister. They love you very much. So let's get out of here. All right, then. Yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
But besides us geeking out on The Wire, I mean, it's got Joan Allen, who I absolutely love. Joan Allen.
Joan Allen?
She's Eve Archer.
Yes.
So she's the wife. But by the way, it doesn't get mentioned in the film, but she sleeps with Castor Troy. Doesn't get mentioned again. Oh yes. You don't see it, but it's heavily implied.
Doesn't Castor Troy, John Travolta says something. He says something late on, something about sleeping with his wife, I think too.
Yeah, as much as I enjoy boning your wife.
That's it, yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, never gets brought up again. Which is
it was the 90s, wasn't it?
The 90s.
Yeah.
People used to jump in each other's beds.
Yeah. It's all science.
It's science. It was the face that did it. And we've got someone who I think's severely underrated. We just talked about him, Alessandro Nivola as Pollux Troy, who was quite the chameleon in this film. Because I remember going to see it was Jurassic Park 3 of all films, and he had a big role in it. And I remember it was Matt and another friend of ours going, face off. And I'm looking at the screen going, I can't see Nicolas Cage. And I had no idea that's what he looked like in real life. And I was just like, that's borderline Gary Oldman transformation. That's fun. And I thought he played like a little Weasley Pollux Troy very well.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he is good in that.
He is good.
Yeah, and over like son of a legend, Nick Cassavetes. He was in it. He's a director. He directed it. Do you remember? What was that film? Alpha Dog with Justin Timberlake.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he made that. I thought he was great as Dietrich.
Right.
But the main person I want to talk about, Jed. Actually, no, I won't talk about her just yet. But you've also got Colm Feore, who is a fantastic character actor. CCH Pounder, who's an absolute ledge. John Carroll Lynch as the prisoner guard Walton.
Right.
And I think we can leave it there. But I'll go back to, some people may think, oh, he's going to mention Dominique Swain. I'm not going to mention Dominique Swain.
You were?
Well, yeah. Back in the day, I was like, oh my God, she's lovely. I wish I was a ghoul trying to get in her pants. By the way, that's a great line in the film from John Travolta.
Yeah. I like it was good.
I hope I've said that to someone at some point in my life.
You've probably said it to me, mate.
Yes, probably, yeah. But the main person, this was my introduction to this actor, and I've never looked back. She's the bee's knees. She's gorgeous. She's talented. It's Gina Gershon.
Yeah.
Probably one of the most beautiful actors I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Fantastic head of hair.
She's exactly your type. Exactly your type.
Strong, powerful, into the illegal stuff.
Yeah.
Has a son that's not mine. and has a very strange relationship with her brother.
Yeah. That's exactly your type. Yeah. No. Yeah. She's one of them. Like I feel like I've seen it in loads, but can never remember what she's in. She's obviously in this, but you'll remember from, was it Bound that she was in?
Yes, with Jennifer Tilly.
Yeah. What else was she in? Because she's in loads, isn't she?
Oh, you know what else she was in, Jed.
What else was she in?
Don't make me say it.
Go on.
She was in the 1995 bona fide classic Paul Verhoeven film, Showgirls.
She was, yeah. That's probably where I know her from. Mostly.
Playing coy. Don't play coy with me. I know you've got it on repeat.
Yeah, she was.
But yeah, honestly, it's not. I genuinely think that is. I mean, I think that's an incredible cast.
It is. It is a talented group.
I mean, it's not often you'd have two really big stars, specifically at the time. I know John Travolta's stars waned a bit.
He's massive back then.
Yeah, but to have that cast, it's like it is for me. It's a classic film, not only because of the action, the dialogue, the concept, but it's got a cast that sells it so well and keeps it. Just like John Woo wants to be grounded in reality. I mean, these actors are known for their realistic portrayals. It's a wonderful cast. I absolutely adore it. It is the bee's knees.
Again, you don't feel like you don't, like when we're saying films like that don't get made anymore, not just in terms of the whole 90s feel of it, but even cast nowadays, it feels like you get one or two top people and they don't really want a supporting cast that strong. If it feels like, they want to be the standouts. So, casts like that are quite quite eye-catching, all the way down the list. Oh God, they're all in it. You don't get a lot of them, especially when it comes, big
big films. Like you don't get a lot of good cast like that anymore. Yeah, the 90s is I mean, it's coming back more and more, isn't it? The 90s. It feels like, yeah, across all things, film, music, fashion, all the rest of it. The 90s is now coming back in, and yeah.
I mean, I remember like being in the 2000s with you in college and Matt and everything, and it was a really bright future in cinema because we would all work and we were getting money in, and we were buying every film we could get our hands on or renting it. And because we were getting into the South Korea, Hong Kong, France, South American cinema. It was just like, we were so wide-eyed and bushy-tailed about everything, every new release coming around us. And it got to a point where it's like we were kind of like we'd take the piss out of 90s films and like disregard them and go, oh, like even Face Off back in the day, we'd all take the piss out of Face Off and Nick Cage films and whatnot. And now we're at a point where it's like, oh God, I miss these films. These are camp, these are corny, but they're just so much fun.
Yeah.
Like they know exactly what they are. The action, all the action, well, the majority of the action is physical. Like hardly any CGI. There's a lot of stunt performers doing death-defying scenes. I mean, the speedboat scene, when I was watching that, I was just like, holy shit.
Yeah.
People are doing that. That's insane.
Yeah. It's an element, that's missing. You're quite right. Like, you know, everybody's decried CGI and its use. And it does, of course, it has its uses and it makes certain things more manageable and all the rest of it. But you missed it, and you can clearly see that's, as you say, people on speedboats and doing all this mad shit. And yeah, you feel it more. And it's, you know, and that's why when again, action, you know, all out action's not usually my thing, but when I watched Mad Max Fury Road, and I'm just like, you just feel every minute of it because you can see people are doing it, and it just made it that much better. But yeah, you know, you look back at some of the 90s stuff now and like that and Terminator 2 and stuff, you're like, God, people were doing this. This isn't CGI. I
mean, it's not as if it was never perfect. You can always see the stunt performers. You can say, oh, well, that's not John Travolta and Nick Cage, but now you're like, it's just entertainment. I'm after. It's a big Hollywood film. I want it to be real. I want it to be dumb. And I want to see shit exploding and people near the explosion where it's dangerous. Because I always harp on about this on these episodes, but it's like I'm sick to death of seeing flat, bland green screen because our eyes don't deceive us. We know they're not actually there, and it just takes you out of it, and you're like, I'm watching a film, and I'm not in this story right now. It's like, and that's when you start getting your phone out and just like scrolling through. But with the films like Face Off, Con Air, Predator, and Total Recall, you do see the errors, but those errors are quite endearing.
Yeah, they are. They are what they are, and not just the errors, not just stunts, the physical stuff, even like the 90s tropes. Something that was making me laugh about it was how much drugs back in the day, like 90s films, the bad guys took drugs. You know, drugs were evil. And, you know, you can tell they're bad because they take drugs, they take pills.
They smoke.
And they smoke, and it's evil. It's a bad guy thing to do. And it was really making me laugh, like the scene where he gets out of prison and goes and gets to their hideout or whatever it is, and no more drugs for that man, which you said to me as well.
just that 90s-ness of, bad guys sitting around and taking drugs, and we know they're evil because that's what they do. You don't get that anymore. So everything's mixed together now. The good guys take drugs, and the bad guys are straight and clean. And I miss that black and whiteness. Bad guys, drugs and alcohol. Good guys, hold the law and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's like when they stopped dressing the good guy in white and the bad guy in black.
Yeah.
It's like, well,
yeah.
Like, how am I meant to know which one's which now?
Yeah, I'm confused. Can we pause this? Yeah.
Get the director in. I need a commentary.
Yeah, and it's it was so full. Watching it last night, it was so full of proper 90s-ness, and straight away the opening scene, on a carousel, and there's John Travolta with a kid, and the choir of kids singing, and when he gets shot, the balloons go on, being released, and you don't, as we said earlier, you don't get away. You can't make that stuff now without feeling like you're directly sort of referencing or making fun of that type of filmmaking, and that's why they'll face off in films of that kind will stick around, because as we said, at the time they were being very sincere about that. That wasn't something to laugh at.
Yeah.
That was a kid is being shot dead. John Travolta's being shot through the back and out through the chest and through the kid. He's fine. Don't worry about him.
He's just got a little scar. Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about him. The kid is completely dead. But it was sincere at the time. The score, everything about it, really. The score.
Oh, the score's fantastic.
Yeah,
John Powell. That was his first ever film score.
Was it?
And what a way to introduce yourself.
Yeah. Just everybody, you're just not getting it anymore. As we said, I want a film that explains its high concept through science and machines by a doctor wearing a maroon jacket. We're not getting them again, are we?
No, them days are gone. But at least we've got Face Off. It's widely available. It's on Disney Plus.
It's also on Amazon Prime that I watched it.
Is it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh wow, I would have watched it there.
Yeah.
Oh damn. Anyway, no, I still watch it. It's fine.
Yeah.
But did you notice, Jed? Like, obviously, you know John Woo films very well.
Mm-hmm.
He's known for his fantastic action set pieces. I always regarded the church fight or the church sequence as a really good action scene until I watched it the other day. I'm not knocking John Woo at all. It's something that I've just picked up on. That scene is just a collection of close-up shots.
Yeah, pretty much.
And sound effects. I was like, we don't see anything.
No, not really, no.
It's screaming, it's doves flying, it's bullets exiting barrels.
Yeah.
People like doing flips, which, by the way, I absolutely adore. People. I think it's been penned as like a gun fu.
Gun fu, right.
Like people just throwing themselves while shooting or doing like sexy twirls. While it's a collage of cool shots.
And
I was like, oh, that's not really an action scene.
Do you think it was on purpose? Do you think it was a budget restraint? What do you think was a stylistic choice?
I thought, well, it kind of makes sense for it to be as it was, because pretty much straight after you've got an absolutely exhilarating speedboat chase.
Right. Yeah.
And I think maybe it was like, oh, well, we've already had so many shootouts. We can't really show something new in this. And it's really just a way to get from point A to point B, like narratively speaking. So let's just make it look good. And it is a good scene. do really like that scene because again, it's because you don't see anything,
Right.
and it keeps you. It does work well because it keeps you guessing who the fuck's dead and who's not.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, it was strange for me because I've never seen an action set piece shot like that before.
Mhm.
And again, I'd like to see more of that because it was a good way to build up tension.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just something that I never really picked up on before.
Yeah. Might watch it again.
I think Face Off's going to be on a regular rotation.
Yeah.
I forgot how much. I really did love that film and the effect it had on me.
Mm.
Obviously, your stories of my quoting has brought a lot back.
Yeah, it did. There was a lot. I'm going to watch it again. I'm going to note down this time everything that I remember you saying to me. I'll send it over.
Thank you very much. Much appreciated.
Yeah.
So, Ged, I think we'll wrap it up shortly because we both got takeaways on the way, or our takeaways are here and they're currently getting cold, which is a crime.
Yeah.
So there is going to be a Face Off sequel, or remake, or prequel, whatever the fuck they calling it.
Right.
What are your hopes for it, if any?
I mean, it's one of them, like, I don't know what I'd hope for it. I mean, as we've just been discussing, it's a film of its time. It was the original was in the 90s. I presume they're not going to try and ape that time, that style. They're going to try and make it a bit more modern and whatnot. And I just don't think that works. I mean, straight away, somebody pitching, "Oh yeah, we want to remake Face Off or whatever." It'd just be a no. It's one of them films that belongs where it belongs, and you can't really alter it. If you're going to update it and call it something else, just do the body swap thing or whatever. Fine, go and do what you want with that, but you don't, what with the character. And no, I have no hopes for it whatsoever. Yeah, it kind of feels like, remember Total Recall being remade, which I still haven't rewatched. I still haven't watched the remake.
Yeah, you're not.
I just like, no, because it's a film of its time, which I'm not going to get what I want from it. It's not going to feel like Total Recall, and I'm not really interested in a modern version of that. It belongs in 1990, whenever it was made. Same with Face Off. It belongs in 1997. Yeah, my interest would be slightly piqued if Nick Cage and John Travolta were coming back. But that's about it. I have no hopes for it at all.
I mean, out of the many remakes we've had and will be getting, this one's piqued my interest the most because it's a really fun concept, as we've seen in Face Off. It is the Freaky Friday of action films.
Yeah.
And I think if they, I don't want them to go meta. I'm sick of people going meta and deconstructing characters and all that shit. But if they approach it the same way that John Woo and the writers approached Face Off, I'm really game. Like, I hope it's not a sequel. I just do your own thing with it. I'm just fascinated by it because I want it to. I want to know how it turns. I'd like to fast forward time now and watch it, and just see how it turns out and what they do and what the if they stay faithful to the original. Although it's a one-off film, it's not part of any like expanded intellectual property. It's just a one-off. They don't have to pay homage to anything. But I'm really interested because the fella directing it, Adam Wingard, He's done a few films that I really like, but he's no John Woo.
Yeah.
And I don't think a lot of modern filmmakers know how to do action anymore, because it's the majority of it is just CGI based.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
So I'm interested to see how he does that. I mean, he done I've not seen it yet, but Godzilla versus Kong.
Oh, right, okay.
So obviously he knows his way around action, because that's I'm assuming that film's not a think piece.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm intrigued. I mean, will they keep it grounded? Will they go effects heavy? I'm very curious about it.
Yeah, put it in the curious pile. Is there anybody attached cast wise?
Not that I know of.
Mm.
I mean, I believe there's murmurings of Cage and Travolta returning in some capacity.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, you could give Nick Cage a leading role these days. I think he's cool again, but
he's back.
Travolta.
Who knows where he is, mate? Don't ask.
Last thing I heard about John Travolta, he was in Fred Durst's film. What's it called? Was it The Fan or something like that?
I don't know.
And it was. I've not seen it. I believe it was hilarious in a
unintentional way.
Yeah.
No, I've not heard of Travolta, what he's up to. I think the last I saw him, he did a Grease reunion about 4 or 5 years ago, and his head was massive, and that's all I remember. I hope he's all right, John. If you ever watch this, I hope you're all right, mate.
Yeah, John, come back to us.
Yeah, come back to us.
I mean, all we want is the next installment of Look Who's Talking. Not asking for much.
I loved those films when I was younger.
Oh, mate, they were amazing.
Really good. Brilliant.
I didn't watch them nowadays, though.
No.
They're like Transformers the cartoon. Keep it in the past.
Yeah, keep it as a nostalgic memory and nothing more.
Keep it safe. Keep it secret.
In fact, you know what? I heard they were remaking them.
Look Who's Talking.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, no.
I can imagine them remaking that. In fact, you know, it's easy to remake that.
Yeah, and they wear a big hair.
Mm. Yeah.
Oh, well, on that bombshell, Ged.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming on. It was great to talk to you about the masterpiece that is Face Off.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully I will get to speak to you soon on many other films and TV shows.
Whenever you need me.
I need you now, Ged. Well, thank you very much, Ged. It's always a pleasure to talk about anything with you.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you very much. And I will bid you adieu. Adios.
Adios.